Abraham. Did you know what Abraham just got through doing when he blessed them?
What?
He killed a bunch of people that kidnapped, from the cities, Sodom and Gomorrah and a few others, because they had taken his nephew and his family with them, and just kidnapped them and took them away. So Abraham goes after them. Now it's actually there were thousands of them, but Abraham only had 300 people with him. So God gave those people.
Can you explain to me how that makes him or anyone else who comes to the store worthy of damnation by Jesus? I mean, did he tell you that he would damn anyone?
Well, I mean, you got the list right here.
I have a list.
That's the words. That's the words from the Bible.
So they use the word druggie and sorcerer and horn watcher.
Well, actually, the word sorcerer, that's translated in the King James Version, is the Greek word pharmakia. And pharmakia, that's where we would get the word pharmacy from. And that is a drug abuser.
It's actually a poisoner. Someone who would poison with herbs?
Yeah, poison, yeah. They used, well, back then, medicine wasn't like the way it was today. You didn't go to a doctor, but they would maybe give you something, but mostly it was like incantations, said over you, and that sort of thing.
How do you have this information? How did you learn all these things?
How to learn all these things?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been a student of the Bible for many years. I've read it for cover to cover dozens of times.
How about the historical context of these things? Like you said, languages and translations. The King James Version is probably the most flawed translation.
It does have
of
flaws.
them.
I will agree with you. King James Version does have flaws.
Are these fellas down the street with you as well? And the ones in the truck?
Oh, that's just the one guy. That's his truck, yeah.
Okay, but y'all are together?
Well, I mean, we go to the same places every now and then.
It's interesting. We've been open 9 years, and not once have we had the attention of folks like y'all.
I'm wondering that myself because I'm not from here.
Where are you from?
Oh, I don't give out personal information.
Oh,
Believe
okay.
it or not, there's some people that don't like me, and they're actively looking for
I
me.
can't imagine
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
I definitely know where to find you right now. Actually, how did you find us? Why?
I've been preaching down there at that little, it's not little, but it's kind of a big parking lot. There's
The
like a big
5
area
Points
right
Plaza?
there. I've been preaching there for a few weekends now.
Oh.
And, just coming back and forth, I happen to know this place. I thought I'd be a light in the darkness.
There's no darkness here except what you bring with yourself.
I don't know about that.
We actually have many things in the store that relate to Jesus of Nazareth and Christian and Abrahamic traditions that are based in mysticism, like the Gnostics and such. We have actually a lot that we serve with our Christian customers.
You know that the Gospel of John was a rebuke to Gnosticism.
And many people would disagree with you on which was the correct course in Christianity, but they both have roots with Jesus.
I mean, we've got the Gnostic Gospels, which they're not very good Gospels at all.
Oh, they're my favorites, especially Thomas is my favorite.
Thomas?
You see, I also was raised Christian for 18 years, have studied Christianity very seriously at the college level, and have read the Bible cover to cover many times, including the historic backgrounds and the context, the socio-political context of the time, and, university level religious study. And it is because I read those things that I opened this store so that I could be a light in the darkness. You see, I think you're the darkness.
I'm the darkness. Why would I be in darkness when Jesus says that?
Because you are damning people to torture and doom and being very fear-bound and basically dividing the people of the world that could be claimed to be all of God's people, all of His creations, or her creations, or their creations, however you want to view that. And you are basically taking everybody and dividing them up in who gets the love of God and who doesn't. How is that not hateful and divisive?
No, God loves everybody.
But He's willing to torture
them.
some.
I'm here to warn them. I don't want people to die and go to hell. That's why.
Hell is a creation of the church that arrived in the Renaissance period. You know that, right?
No, God created hell. when Lucifer...
That's not
did what
actually
he was
biblical.
supposed to do.
What you're talking about is not biblical.
So Lucifer didn't fall.
That has nothing to do
He
with
didn't
hell.
say-
He was an
didn't say,
archangel.
I will rise and I will be like God. Lucifer never said that. And that's not
Lucifer
the
was
Bible.
an angel who fell from the grace of that one God because he dared to defy him, yes. But the whole concept of hell and Satan was a creation of the Renaissance that the Catholic Church devised much later to control people. If you had studied the history in the Bible as you should, you'd know that.
Well, which hell are we talking to that you say there isn't one? 'Cause there's
I'm not
different
saying there's
hells.
no hell. I think people like you have created it, and I hope you all go there.
Why would I go to hell when Jesus said I wouldn't?
Jesus didn't talk like this, hon. I know Jesus very well, and I really hope you someday meet him. And I hope that I hope he imparts to you his love of all people, loving your neighbor, accepting people. Who did he hang out with if it wasn't those who had been cast out by society, the women, the people who had been accused of prostitution? Those were his best friends. He was about love. He was a revolutionary about love and acceptance and unity and healing the sick and feeding the poor and loving widows and orphans and those who had been cast out by society. He stood at the gate and condemned his own people for their cruelty. I wish you knew Jesus. I really do. I think that if Jesus came right here and kissed you on the cheek, you wouldn't know who you were talking to, because you're so blinded by your own fear, my friend. You see, I believe that God is love. God should not be feared. God is love.
It's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of an angry God.
Well, yeah, but I think that you are doing the work of an angry deity of some sort, but it certainly isn't God as I know it. You see, you're a preacher, yeah? You say you've been preaching down on the corner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, over there, yeah.
I'm a priestess, and the gods that I serve are love. I also would preach that gospel, but I don't do it down on the corner, you see, because I don't impose my views on other people. I believe in sovereignty and free will to choose. Like, I think you have ultimate right to choose your religion and practice it in whatever way that makes you happy. But I also would support the right of anyone else in this community to serve that divine love in whatever way makes them happy and brings us together and makes the world a better place. I think what you're doing right now makes the world a scary, fearful place. And no one wants...
I want people to fear sin. I want people to fear God.
But why? How does this help you?
How does it help me?
How does it help you? How does it help society? How does it help anybody?
Well, it's definitely going to help society. I mean, we've been turned away from God, and look where we are now. I'm sure you can find some good places, but, you know, trillions of dollars in debt.
What does that have to do with religion?
Well, because God said, you know, I will bless those that bless you, I will curse those that curse you. It says, you will lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. And we borrowed and borrowed and borrowed.
All right, I have a question for you. Who's to say that the sacred text of one tiny patch of land in the Middle East has a bearing over the rest of the world and the rest of government?
Well, the Israelites were supposed to be an example. And they were also supposed to be a shadow of what was to come. Because they, you know, the prophets continually said there's a new covenant coming. You know, there's a Messiah coming. So that was fulfilled in Jesus.
Yes, but that was meant for the Jewish people. Why does that have to do with the
that's
rest
for
of the
everybody.
world?
A light to the Gentiles is what Isaiah said. Isaiah was Old Testament. He said that the branch, or the Messiah, would be a light to the Gentiles.
I still don't see how that applies to us over here in North America of European descent and all that. I see how it applies to Jewish people perhaps, or those of that region, but not here.
Well, there's Jews and there's Gentiles.
There's only two categories in the whole earth: Jews and Gentiles.
Well, if you're not a Jew, then what are you? You're a Gentile.
My friend, you have been living in a world of